Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back through daily crypto news and analysis, and it has been a while since we have talked about the legendary Casper network. So sit back, relax, and before we fully jump on into this video, I just want to ask guys to please leave a like on this video. It does help the channel grow immensely, and of course I always do greatly appreciate that. But today, let's talk about Casper, the friendly ghost. So it's been a while, but I have been talking to you guys about Casper in some of my daily crypto updates. Now, like I said, we were waiting for confirmation that we were hitting that major bottoming point. Now we came down and tested those summer lows going as far back as the summertime, and things are looking pretty good right now. Now, I'm going to be addressing this and talking to you guys about this on the chart here shortly, but I do definitely want to address a lot of things happening within the Casper ecosystem, more so talking about, mastery listings and things like that, or not relistings, but listings in general. More so talking about this Bithumb one. I mean, this is huge, guys. So this just happened. So here you guys have it. Here's the Casper network, Casper. Now, of course, this is, I have to translate this, but it is getting listed on, of course, Bithumb. This is actually very significant because, as you guys do see, in terms of the #1 source for a lot of volume and things like that, Bithumb is the #1. And we can actually go check out where Bithumb actually, stands here. So let's go check it out. So here we have, oh, sorry, I actually spelled that wrong. 1 second. So here we have, there's a few. So let's go to this one. Number 18, $1 billion in volume, 700,000 weekly visits as well. This is a very significant exchange. And like I said, when we were talking about these major exchange listings, these are the ones that we want to watch for, especially in terms of the top 20. Any top 20 exchange is very good. So this is incredible to see. And as more and more things are happening, we're going to be seeing a lot more volume in. Like, this is 728% volume in to Casper off of those major lows. And on the 1 month spend, you can really kind of see, why this is a significant area to watch for now, because we bounced off of those major lows, kind of reset the entire chart, which we will talk about. And now things are looking pretty spicy. So let's move on and let's talk about a few things before we get into the chart. So obviously, in terms of social volume, on the 3 month span, we are still in a negative social volume area. Social engagement is up a little bit, but for the most part, the things that we really want to see are not there just yet in terms of social volume and things like that. But of course, what really matters is trading volume, as well as major areas of focus, which is of course exchange listings. Now, things have been looking very good on the 1 week and even on the 1 day chart, as you guys do see in terms of social engagement, volume, and dominance. I've been talking to you guys about Casper for a very long time, and the reason why I really want to focus right now on Casper is look at where we retest it in terms of, Casper. This is testing those perfect bottoms going back to July of 2021. These were the perfect areas to really kind of get into Casper, but honestly, even at these current levels, Casper is still a very good asset to jump into, but I'm watching for us to break above this point here at about 9.5 cents. More so, we could say you could just target 10 cents. Once we have a confirmed breakout above 10 cents, it is looking very good in terms of Casper. Now, like I said, in terms of the RSI, perfect reset of the RSI, massive strength above the moving average here as well. Not even at overbought levels. Volume, very significant. Most amount of volume that we've had since going back to December, I mind you. And like I said, that trading pair definitely does help. Now, I'm going to say off of these major low patterns, we could actually move the fib level a little bit to accommodate for our recent low. So here we have it. In terms of those fib levels, you guys could definitely see the level that we are really kind of eyeing at, which is of course that 10-cent zone. Move this over so that you could really kind of see it on the chart. Let me move this down so that we are on the bottom level perfectly. So there we have it. That's exactly why I've said, 10 cents is the big key here. But of course, in terms of the fib level outreaches, you guys could also see the massive amount of ROI potential in Casper as well. And I definitely do believe that we will hit $1 this bull run. And when we are talking about this bull run, yes, we are still in a bull market. I have not changed up on that at all. Micro views, things looked pretty rough for the last, roughly 2, almost 3 months now. But on the macro views, still things look very good for that fall time frame, which I've even addressed back in, October of this year, or not this year, last year, sorry. But in terms of Casper is definitely one to really watch for, especially now that we have that major reset. And things are looking very good from a developmental standpoint, but also even from exchange listing standpoint, because there's still a lot of exchanges that have not listed us. I mean, in terms of the markets that we are on, there's still a lot of top 10 exchange listings that we could be seeing. More so Binance, Coinbase, FTX, Kraken, even KuCoin actually. We don't even have a KuCoin listing, which is pretty funny because a lot of tokens do have a KuCoin listing. I do believe, no, we actually don't have a Bybit. So like I said, we have so much potential in terms of, the top 10 exchange listings in general. And as we are seeing a lot more things unfold, watch Casper closely, especially now that we are moving within the market as well. Guys, I'm very, very excited for this year ahead. And also, in terms of the partnerships that Casper Labs already has, guys, check this list out. You guys can check it out. Metis, IPWE, Herasoft, BSN, Plasma Pay, and the list goes on and on and on. And a lot of these are incredible, use cases as well. Look at the description of some of these. First off, IPWE with those patents, those are huge. But you guys can see a breakdown of a lot of these, NFT music platforms. We're seeing, compliance layer for VASPs to comply with anti-money laundering regulations and things like that to make sure that Casper is compliant for when regulations do come into place. Bridge in business and strategy for innovative industries in the UAE and MENA area. I mean, guys, this is really focused on some major, areas of expertise, especially in some major markets around the world. So, definitely focus on the bigger picture here, which isn't, of course, like I said, always getting rich quick, but also being able to, accumulate as much as possible. I mean, right now, in terms of this range, we are hitting that resistance area going back to July yet again. I mean, look at the resistance here. We might have, one last sweep of these lows sitting at about like 6 cents. We might come down and retest that support zone at about like 6 cents, 6.5 cents roughly, before we take off a little bit yet again, similar to what we did back in July. But I'm telling you guys right now, it is looking very good for Casper, especially if we could break over that 10-cent region. Now, also, we do see here, could it be a coin list unlocks of Q1 and Q4 are priced in already? Launch of ecosystem on Casper Network ahead in the following weeks. I keep DCAing. And here is, individuals talking about a downward, trend resistance area for Casper, but we broke out of that today. But it's also the idea, like, when we're talking about these people that are, a little bit bearish on, of course, Casper, and I'm not talking down on people or anything like that. I'm just saying when we are talking about bearish patterns playing out within this market, you got to really address what is happening behind the scenes with a lot of these major, networks as well. The price action on Casper was extremely bearish. Don't get me wrong. We were in a major downward trend, but we were also seeing the RSI sweeping these major lows. I mean, we were basically testing the support of the RSI going back to January, but it was in an extremely oversold area. So obviously a major bounce was, expected, but there's so much more coming to, of course, the Casper ecosystem this year alone. Listen to, of course, the CTO of Casper Labs. Guys, this is very bullish. Listen closely.
I know that the community has been really frustrated and they've been very, very patient, and we thank you for your patience. The Casper VM is not an EVM, right? And we did this on purpose. We know it's harder. We knew it is going to take a longer time. We invested, we spent like over a year, right, building out this special VM. And so why did we do it? We did it because this will enable us to upgrade the smart contract capabilities, like I just talked about, unifying accounts and contracts. Can't do that if we're waiting for Ethereum Foundation to make changes to the EVM. But learning a new smart contracting platform takes time. And so contract authors had to learn about how Casper works and how they can actually migrate their smart contracts to the Casper virtual machine. Additionally, we're strong believers in decentralization. So the Casper Association, in collaboration with Casper Labs, we set up a developer DAO. And building out DAO infrastructure takes longer for these things to ramp up, to onboard voting associates, to set up the infrastructure so they could vote on initiatives and projects, and then onboard them and get them to write these contracts. So this is the delay. I'm happy to report that the DeFi infrastructure is on its way, and I expect it to be there in the next 3 to 4 weeks.
Friendly Market. I know Friendly Market, for example, right? What else?
So Friendly Market is going to be building out an AMM, a DEX, as well as an NFT marketplace. CasperHolders.io is also building out some new marketplaces. Killian is very excited about this. Sensei Partners is building out a Uniswap clone. And Arcadia Group has built out GoSudo, which will actually support ERC type tokens as well as native CSPR. There's also several wallet technologies that continue to be improved. Taurus for DeFi and Ledger as well. We continue to work with the Ledger team to upgrade our Ledger integration to support generic.
Man, how can we not be bullish? I mean, honestly, think about exactly what she just said. There is so much DeFi opportunity coming to the Casper network. I just cannot help but sit back and just see dollar signs and dollar signs and dollar signs. I know that this technology that I am investing in on a day-to-day basis, that I am accumulating at these bare minimum prices. I mean, like, a lot of this stuff, like, when we're talking about the DeFi sector, I talked about the DeFi sector for the last 2 days now in some of my videos. Like, this area is set for massive growth. And when we are talking about Casper, I mean, guys, there is so much being built on this massive network, and the token is at, like, these bare minimum prices. Like, we're talking about billions and billions of dollars in market cap coming to Casper, and we're not even sitting at, $500 million, which is $500 million in market cap valuation. Just think about the amount of money that's going to come to Casper and pour into this network. There's going to be so many individuals building on Casper. I mean, I am just so excited. I mean, seriously, let me know what you guys think about Casper down in the comments below. I know a lot of you guys have been holding Casper. I know there was a few people taking their profits when they, could. I know that there's some people selling at a loss, which I always tell you guys, look at the bigger picture here. I know that these downward trends are rough, but getting through these downward trends, will really give you guys the best opportunity, in terms of, these assets. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to say that it doesn't suck when we see these major downward trends, but just go back to, August for an example, right? Where we were hitting some highs of like 23 cents and we had this massive downward trend followed by, us targeting about like 7 cents, followed by one major move to 24 cents with a major downward trend. But you guys have to realize that, off of these lows, some of these major lows that we hit, right? This was roughly a 240% plus increase in price, followed by a decline of roughly, 76%. And, even the decline off of this pump back here to these lows was about 70%. But the increase in price off of these bottoms was not nearly as much. Like this was, well, like I guess maybe it was technically. So 350%, followed by a 70% correction, 240%, followed by almost an 80% correction. So what would the next major, move be? Because, this would be roughly a 342% increase in price. But I honestly think the next time that we target this, resistance level at 24 cents, that we will actually hit this major next fib level at about a 555% increase in price. Now, of course, will this be met with resistance and will we reject? Most likely, we'll come down and test that support at about 24 cents if we do break down and come back down to like maybe the 702, right? That would be about a 47% decrease in price. We'll most likely hit, support at around that range. But if we do follow the structure and have maybe something like a 70% correction, which I don't think is in store for us, but if we do, we will most likely test, of course, the 236, which would be a 72% retracement. But honestly, at this point, we'll most likely have a lot more volume in. We'll have a lot more exchange listings and things like that. So I do believe that we will most likely range on major support at around this range, somewhere between the 702 and the 786. But of course, I do believe that major opportunity is being met here with Casper. I think that this is an incredible opportunity. I think the fib outreaches really take us to $1 plus. I've actually said that we could even hit some higher frame targets, depending, of course, like I said, where we do see a lot more adoption coming in, a lot more FOMO, things like that. Also, the demand for Casper right now, I do believe, is increasing day by day. Of course, social dominance tells us that. Social volume and engagement also tells us that. But Casper, like I've always said, is an incredible opportunity, not only from an ROI perspective, but also from a developmental standpoint. This comparing it to like Ethereum and things like that, there's really no comparison. It's night and day, right? So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.